I'm just going to give you some observations on one of these mini air pumps that seem to be all the rage now with bicyclists with regards to me as a bike packer and whether I would take it or not. I purchased this one on AliExpress for $33. It comes in different names, as you know. Anything from AliExpress is a lot of the same manufacturers. And it was shipped from the USA, which was really interesting. It came really quick. I want to say it came like in 3 days, not the 2-3 weeks it can sometimes take. Picked this one because I saw a review on YouTube. They were testing like 5 of them. This one came out halfway decent. I like the aesthetic of it with the curved edges. And then some of it didn't have the prominent. Some of them have an extension out here. So this one like quite compact. Came with a tube for an extension, which is actually the Schrader adapter. This by default is pressed to here. And then if you have Schrader, you put that in there. And then if you want to use the tube for an extension, which converts it back to Presta, you would do that. And then that simply screws in here. It also came with a plastic bag because it says it is not waterproof and protect from water or sweat. This isn't the exact bag, but this is very similar in terms of size and the technique that it uses to seal. So I did a little test. I pumped up 2 650B tires. One of them was 2.35, the other one was 2.25 from flat, and that took about 1 minute and 20 seconds. And then I ended up just topping off a 29er I had that was probably at about 15 psi. So I took all these tires to 32. In terms of battery indicators, you get 3, and by the time I was done that test, I had 1 dot left. It didn't deplete the battery, obviously. I plugged it in and I walked away, and I came back, and on under an hour it was charged. I didn't time it exactly, but it charges pretty quick, I think. You should do your own test in both regards on all that stuff. The cons, the biggest thing is it's incredibly loud. If you're camping and you want to break camp like 6:30, 7 o'clock, you're going to be waking some people up with this thing. This thing is just so loud. So that's one really big downside for me as a bike packer, other than you can't get it wet. One of the things it says to do is not use it on a TPU tube with a plastic stem because it will melt it. So they say to use this extension. I think I'm going to use this extension by default anyway, because when I was pumping up those tires, the metal valve stem on my tubeless setup got really hot. I couldn't touch it. It got so hot. So I'm a little concerned that it might melt the rim tape on the inside. And the other thing is that's not great is it's just another piece of electronics that you have to charge or could break. You know, this is obviously a lot of moving parts in here, and that's just one more thing that could fail on your ride. The good thing is by default it is a pressure gauge, which is nice. With regards to weight, it's 130 grams, and with this hose here, it's 151 with the Presta adapter on it. And then I have my Soka pump, which is probably on the heavier side because it is metal. You can certainly buy a plastic pump, and I have some Gorilla Tape on there. So this pump's on the heavier side, and this is 182 grams. So technically the pump is lighter.